Hello friends, we're back for day 11 of the 13 days of Halloween. We're getting closer to Halloween Day and all the excitement. Today we're using the caramel apple stamp from Lawn Fawn, and we're making some shaker tags that can be put on some cute Halloween treat bags. You could also put them on some candy apples that you make. They would be really cute. And I thought this was a little less spooky alternative to some treat tags. So here I'm going ahead and stamping a caramel apple stamp and the little bow with Gina K amalgam black ink. And I'm just stamping them on Bristol white cardstock, and Bristol is good for watercoloring, and we're going to use some zig markers. So here I've grabbed some paper from a Lawn Fawn paper pad. This is from the newer Fall Fling paper pad, and you could also definitely use these for fall or for Thanksgiving would be fun as well. So I'm cutting these out using the Christmas Critters die set from the Say What Christmas Critters collection from Lawn Fawn. And this is a shaker tag set. It is really fun to work with. So I'm cutting out the frames and the background, and I'm just kind of planning what I'm going to do. I've grabbed some yellow fun foam. This is just craft foam from Michael's, and I'm cutting that directly with the frame die, and that's going to create the raised area where we can have to put our shaker elements inside. So just by easily die cutting 2 layers of that fun foam, it gives us enough dimension. And I'm cutting the back tag again with some acetate, and that will create our little top layer window. We're going to go ahead and add the little faces onto the caramel apples. There's 2 faces included in this mini set, as well as a sentiment, which we're going to stamp on the back. So I'm doing 1 face on each candy apple and stamping that with black. Again, this ink is great because you can use either Copics or water-based markers like the zigs that we're going to use. And the little faces are all stamped on there. And then we've got the back of the tag. So we're going to stamp that now before we put everything together. And I'm just positioning the caramel apple part of the stamp so that I can coordinate colors to match the apples. I'm going to do 1 red and 1 green. So I want an apple word in red and green. And I'm using some Tim Holtz archival ink pads. They're the mini inks, and they have a little tin to fit in. They stamp beautifully, and I can just easily change the back of the tags out and restamp the image by using this stamping platform. This one is by Hampton Arts. And so I'm just going ahead and stamping all these. It may have been easier to trim the caramel apple in half, but I didn't. You can easily trim your clear stamps and they go back together and stamp very easily. And so here I've grabbed my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I really enjoy coloring with these. So basically I take 3 markers or pens out that I want to color with, and they are a lighter, a medium, and a darker color that coordinate, and I wanted to coordinate them with the paper that I'm using. So the red, I've just picked almost a corally color for the base. I'll lay down the lightest color, then I will go over it with the medium color on the shaded part, and then I go back over it with the light marker, then add the dark marker and go over it again with the lightest marker. So I don't actually use a water brush. I find that these blend very nicely just by using the lighter color to blend with. Here we've got some caramely color browns to do the caramel apple part. And I just do the same thing, blend the lighter base color over first, and then add the second color around any of the edges that I want to look a little bit darker. Go in, and I find sometimes on that second blending I use almost a circular motion to soften those edges from the darker color marker, and then pull the color into the center. And you can definitely try some different techniques. There's lots of people out there who use zig markers, and Nicole Spohr is a really great coloring artist who does some phenomenal work with zigs. But lots of people have their own style, and I think you just try different things and see what works for you. And here we've got a little bit darker brown, so I've used the medium and the darkest brown that I used for the caramel, and then took another darker brown. So you can see how just by changing out a light or a dark marker, you can change the color tone. You could definitely just use 2 markers. You can see that I don't have a ton of zig markers, that I just have the ones that were in those cups that you could see when I first pulled them out. But I find you can mix and match them as long as you have some light base colors to lay down that base first. And again, same thing here with the green, and I just wanted some lighter, brighter colors for this project, and I wanted it just to have a real fall feel to it. So even though I am using it for Halloween, and I end up adding some black elements into the little shaker that you'll see at the end, you can definitely coordinate these for fall. That paper is really fun to use with the little leaves and the fall colors, but it's definitely more of a bright fall palette. And we're going to color in the little bows that come in the stamp set as well. These mini stamp sets are really fun, and they usually have sentiment or 2 in them and a couple other elements to stamp. And now I'm going to take the coordinating die and just die cut that with my Cuttlebug, and just use a little bit of washi on the die so that it doesn't move around, and it cuts very nicely, especially because the Bristol cardstock is a little thicker, so it's a little harder to use fussy cutting, but you can. Now I'm taking the little cheeks that are with the Winter Narwhal set, and I really like these little cheeks. So I stamped on some archival pink, and I felt like it was maybe a little bit too dark. It still works. And then I used some Distress Oxide, which I think actually worked better, but it's fine. They're both okay. And then I've used my Wink of Stella pen that I actually filled with a sparkly spray and put that on the top of the apples. Now I've grabbed the 2 layers of Fun Foam, and I'm adding that to the tag and just gluing those with tacky glue. The tacky glue seems to hold it in place, even holding the acetate and the top layer of frame. This is really easy to put together, and these are really fun. So you can just have them as a 1-layer tag, or one with the frame, or do the shaker, and they're all quite easy. This is the Say What Pets and the Mama Elephant Everyday Mini Messages. And I'm stamping out the little speech bubble and then stamping the little Shake Me sentiment from Mama Elephant. And I'm just going to put that on the front. and then just die cut it out with the little coordinating dies. I have some fun sequins from Studio Katia. I love using their sequins. So even though this here is a bit of a Christmas mix, I'm pulling out the colors that I want and using it. So I'm adding some of that caramel color in there in the shaker that's going to have the green apple, and adding the reds into the one with the red apples so that I can keep it a little more color coordinated. I think I actually got a little red one in there, but that's okay. And then Erica decided she would help me put some green in there, and we add some silver stars as well. So those are all Studio Katia sequins. And then we're just layering on the frame that has the acetate in it and gluing that down. So after it has the sequins and the frame on it, I don't shake it around until I know the glue is dry. Otherwise the sequins might stick in the glue a little bit. And then I'm just adding some white gel pen highlights onto the stamped images. And I'm going to just glue those directly on to the top of the shaker. They were a little wide to fit inside, so I thought adding them on top at a little bit of an angle would be better. And then I'm going to use a bit of foam tape and put that onto the little speech bubble there and add it onto the top of the tag. And glue the little bows onto the top as well. I've just grabbed some yellow hemp twine and I'm going to tie that onto the top. And you can see in the finished project I actually cut the little reinforcement hole and add that in a bit of a different color. And there's a look at them shaking around. So these are really fun to put together, and they will be great to give to someone for Halloween. I've attached them to some little black and white Halloween treat bags with some black doilies. And there's the project for today. So I hope this has given you some more information to create for Halloween. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification so you don't miss any upcoming episodes.